Welcome to part 2 of Mojo. Now we're going to go to the jungle. And the jungle is not really that bad of a level, except now you have to deal with magnets. So you have two different kinds of magnets in this game. You have attractors and repulsors. So what attractors do is they basically pull your ball in, while repulsors do the complete opposite. They push your ball away. It pushes away the ball, and it can be extremely damaging in Worlds 5 and 8, as well as 9. Yes, pausing can save you in this game, unlike most other titles. You can retry the stage. What I appreciate, too, is that there's no penalty for retrying a level. So, if you want to get used to the level and then try to beat the record, then, you can do that. And that's something I kind of feel would have been far more necessary in other games. But unfortunately, we never kind of had that luxury. Oh my goodness, how the duck did I miss that? How did I miss that? I do not know if I restart this level a third time. Do I restart it a third time, or... maybe not. Maybe I can seal the nail in the coffin. Let's see if I can do it. Again, this footage is roughly, like, what, 3.5 years old and change. Obviously, I will not remember everything. Oh, I'm almost there. Oh, no, I'm running out of time. Can I get it? Yes, I did it in time. Oh, how lovely. How very lovely. That was indeed something I did not expect. What is the hint for this one? Yeah, some barrier blocks do hold hidden mojo. So what this basically means is that no matter what ball you're using, if you touch a certain block on the field, yeah, like there, you get an extra bit of mojo energy in order to complete the level. It's not much, but it can help if used right. So let's see. I think I'm gonna. Oh, I'm not even gonna hit the other block. Well, that's depressing. Very depressing indeed. And let's see. Come on, dash over Atlas. That is actually a very hard ball to... that's actually a very hard block to get. You have to be very precise, and... yes, I will retry here. This game is a lot of trial and error, though, if I had to say. You really need to know exactly where you need to put your balls, and also where you need to make sure that you don't get caught by the attractors, the repulsors, and how fast you need to go. Actually, that kind of sounds almost as accurate as to what Super Monkey Ball was all about back in the day. Because, again, wasn't Super Monkey Ball literally this? Just going around catching bananas? I never actually played Super Monkey Ball. I cannot confirm nor deny anything that I'm saying here. But what I at least do appreciate is that this game has a similar system to it, where you really need to be strategic in where you move the ball and how fast or slow you need to go. Not a lot of puzzle games that involve a ball actually do that. So it is indeed something that I do not take for granted. I definitely don't. And, let's see it. Might as well bring it up. I think in order to use the bonus infusers, I think you have to hit the square button. Don't take my word for that. It's either the square button or it's the triangle button. If not, the triangle button is to access the bonus balls. Again, I can't remember off the top of my head. If it says it, it says it. If it doesn't say it, it doesn't say it. But, whatever floats my boat, I guess. Now, contrary to the way that this footage looks, this game actually plays in a pure 60 frames per second. The only reason why it's in 30 is, I'm assuming, because of the way that I rendered the video. Because, again, DVD recorders don't really pick up frame rate as properly as it's supposed to. In certain cases, it will pick up a full 60 frames a second. But I think because of the way that DVD VideoSoft, yes, I use DVD VideoSoft's DVD video importer in order to port it to the computer, it unfortunately caused it to go into 30 frames per second as opposed to 60. So as a result, I sadly don't have the natural template that this game naturally has. So, it's a sad loss, but at least you know that in the event you want to make your own footage of Mojo and make another lovely commentary out of it. Yes, that is true. You can only hold one key at a time, so please be extremely careful with which key you try to get and which lock you try to go to. There's no point in going to that red infuser anymore because we're already out of red blocks. It wouldn't make sense to go and get the red infuser because there's no other reds in the game you have to get. And alongside that, we just have to get the remaining greens, and that is virtually the end of the level. My goodness. These are some interesting designs. You know, I could imagine these worlds in like HD form, or at least remastered form. What would a Mojo remastered really look? Yep, if you earned a bonus infuser, you use square. Yep, say it. Yeah, that's basically how it works. There's no need for it, though. But as I was saying, if Mojo ever got like a high-resolution texture pack, I highly doubt that will happen because of the fact that this game only came out on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and it's rather difficult to modify PlayStation 2 and Xbox games, to my knowledge. I've never actually done PS2 and Xbox hacking at any point, aside from any kind of homebrew I've used on the PlayStation 2, but that's another story. But it would be nice to see what I could do with this title, because I would like to remaster this title at some point. Same thing goes for Side Pocket. Yes, I want to buy the rights to Side Pocket and deliver to you guys finally Side Pocket 4. But I'll do that when I have a virtually unlimited amount of wealth. I'm not going to do that right now. I will do that when the time is proper. The only way to do it is the legal way. That's what I've grown to learn over the years. But it's not a bad thing. No, it never is a bad thing. It's always a cool thing. It's always a cool thing when you're able to do stuff like that. It's also a cool thing if you're ever able to talk over a lovely game such as this, because I don't know. I just love this game. This game, I think, was like the 5th game I had on the PlayStation 2. Because when I started out my career with the PlayStation 2, I had 5 games going for me. I had Fanavision, Pac-Man World 2, Jeopardy. Mojo was the 5th game. I forget what the 4th one was. The 4th one was probably Spider-Man, actually. Yeah, the Spider-Man, the movie, the game. Not to be confused with the PlayStation or PSX and Ultra 64 Spider-Man. Ugh, don't even get me started. I know Clement already did his commentary about it, but let me be very clear. When I was a kid, I ended up learning about that game thanks to O.J. Simmons. O.J. Simmons is debatably one of the greatest friends I had while in the Mattapan region of Boston. And he introduced me to Spider-Man 2000, and had it not been for him, I probably wouldn't know much about the Spider-Man video games, but man, was it brutal. Again, I was stuck on the first level for 2 hours. What kind of experience is that? No, nobody ever deserves to have to stay in a level for 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Jeez. And now you folks might have noticed I ended up going to stage 7 right away. That's actually, that's regular, and yes, now we're introduced to the repulsors. You can see them pushing my ball away. But, okay, but what happens if you end up losing the bonus round is, I don't think you get an extra try. You're not even able to pause if the ball explodes. You're able to pause the game before the ball explodes, but if that doesn't happen, then you end up just going to the next level. Which is kind of depressing, but, it's kind of a way of the ball's life. It has to keep going on. It has to keep going on to get more Mojo. Again, though, it's just a bonus round. There's no actual bonus aside from getting a bonus infuser if you don't already have one. I wouldn't say it's necessarily necessary to have to get all the balls. To have to get all the ice blocks or to complete the stage 6. But it's better if you do, just for fun. But you really don't get any good out of stage 6 unless you're using the level creator. Which is, again, a reason why I feel... Is that the @ symbol? Oh my goodness, that's an @ symbol. What the duck? Why is an @ symbol in this game? Oh my goodness, no, you don't do that. No, not in a game where you use a ball to destroy a whole bunch of blocks. No, that's not my forte. not my forte. I would never do that. No. No, 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 no. I guess I could probably talk about the power-ups that the Atlas Ball can get. So in Worlds 4 and 7, you can get different power-ups for the ball. And the first one is a bit obvious, which is kind of basic though. And that power-up basically allows you to see the point of the gray blocks in which you can actually hit in order to get extra mojo. AKA, you'll see like the little bullseye symbol in order to know where you can actually hit it in order to get the extra mojo energy that's within, that is within. If you complete World 7 with all 4 bonus infusers, you end up getting unlimited turbo for the Atlas Ball, and oh man, do you need that when going into Worlds 8 and 9. You will thank me later. In this world, you're going to get the Coconut Ball, and the Coconut Ball is the slowest ball in the game. I don't know why you would use it, but it does have the best balance when going at maximum power. So even though, yes, it has low acceleration, low turbulence, and low maximum speed, it is at least the utmost stable of the balls that you don't really have too much to worry about. But it is good to keep that in mind, just in case you need some extra, firepower. And in Worlds 5 and 8, if you end up getting the Coconut Ball's power-ups, the Coconut Ball, once you first get it, I think it stops you from being negatively affected by magnets if you complete World 5. And in World 8, you end up getting a power-up we'll be seeing later on, the Spectrum power-up. And what the Spectrum power-up basically is it allows you to destroy any block of any color, regardless of what color your ball is. That is something I do not take for granted. Trust me, you need it. And, oh, I think I just wanted to see what the target time was. Yeah, 2:25. Yeah, 2:25. Not a bad time to complete this game, but I mean, to complete this level, but still, you really have to be very quick on your thumbs. Now, one of the things I did not know for a good bit when I was playing this game was I was one of those people that was playing this game with a directional pad as opposed to the L3 pad, the analog stick. And oh, was that brutal? That was painstakingly brutal. Why the duck did I decide to play this game with the analog? I mean with the directional pad? Actually, I think that the only other title that I know that uses a directional pad on a PlayStation title, oddly enough, Sonic Adventure 7, Sonic Generations of White Space Time, it allows you to use the directional pad as the main control buttons. Why? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay for 2D Sonic, but modern Sonic, no. No, why would you give us that? I mean, sure, it kind of confused me as to why we didn't have that in Sonic Adventure 5 Planetary Pieces, but no, in Sonic Adventure 7, that did not help at all. Not at all. Oh, jeez. And please bear in mind, when I say Sonic Adventure 7, I don't mean that ducking Game Boy pirate game. No, duck that game. If I ever end up playing that, just know that I ended up high on something and somebody dared me to play it. I'm joking around. I actually don't do drugs. Drugs are bad, kids, especially opioids. Don't try to have them. You might lose your life. And I mean that rather literally. But enough with the PSAs. We'll get to the PSAs at a better point in time. This is not a good time for that. Right now, this is a time for Mojo. A time for you move a ball through the jungle, and oddly enough, this water doesn't even look like water. It looks like clouds. It looks like clouds over a dark blue sky. Kind of scary to admit, but it's as real as it gets. It's as real as it gets. You can't deny that. Like, in my mind, I'm trying to think to myself, wait, is that water? Or is it the sky? It looks like there's clouds in the water. It actually kind of reminds me of, there's an episode of The Simpsons, I think from 2008 or maybe 2009 or later. And basically, Homer's in a plane. He's piloting a plane. I think Marge is also in there. He's basically going down. The whole plane's going down. He's like, what is the ocean doing in the sky? And bear in mind, there are actually a lot of pilots that ended up having plane crashes because they couldn't tell the difference between the ocean and the sky. in some cases it can be virtually an optical illusion. It's kind of scary when you think of it, but that is the unfortunate realistic truth about optical illusions, such as, you know, water and clouds. Sometimes you can't tell if it's water in the sky, or if it's sky in the water, or if it's just your eyes playing tricks on you. That's kind of unfortunate, but it's something that definitely needs to be taken into consideration when it comes to focusing your eyesight on a specific object. You don't want to end up having the wrong scenario happen, and then, well, could end up costing you in the end. That's also kind of like what happens in this game, actually. If you do not keep a good eye on everything in the level, chances are you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose beating the target time, and you unfortunately will not be able to do what you were intending to do in the first place. Which again is unfortunately depressing, but that's just the challenge of the game. Again, I'm not the guy that makes these games or these lines. I'm just the guy that talks over them and occasionally mods them. Oh my goodness. My goodness. And alright, so the target time was almost beaten, but unfortunately I was a little too late. But that doesn't matter. We ended up getting the coconut ball, the slowest ball in the game. You're gonna see a little bit of that, I think, in part 3, but we'll be seeing that later in World 3.